Hey y'all, hey. I'm back. Day number 2. It's all kinds of stuff going on back here. Um, we are back for another live. Um, and I'm excited again. I'm always excited. Um, especially when it comes to coming to talk to y'all about all things Barbados, because Barbados makes me happy. And the way this weather is, it's very reminiscent of Barbados. Today I am going to bring up my good brother Ryan of Adinkra the band. Adinkra the band. I know I spelled it right. Well, this is interesting. Oh, Hey, Miriam Kenny. How are you? What do I want to talk about today? There's so many things to talk about. Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I had to like switch it up. I just came from this event. We were wearing all white and pearls and things.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm home. So I came out in my pearls. Ryan, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you as well.
Thank you. What's
How's
going on? I want to say what's going on in Barbados. Okay, I'm gonna ask you what's going on in Barbados, and then I'm gonna see if you tell me what I think everybody's
well,
talking about. Maybe.
well, I guess in terms of online, the iShow Speed guy is visiting, so I guess that's been trending online for the last couple of days. I think he's gonna be here today, tomorrow. They're planning some like a mini carnival uh close to Rihanna Drive in that area. So that's the buzz here in Barbados right now. The iShow Speed.
Which makes sense. Did you watch his journey through Africa?
I watched some of the clips. I didn't get. I see all. Obviously, didn't see all of them. I saw some of them. So he has quite a following, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what he's doing is so important because he's showing parts of the continent in ways, or what he did was he showed parts of the continent in ways that demystify it.
Yeah.
He shows the beauty and the of course joy, because that's his thing, joy and high energy. He tastes the food everywhere he went. Musicians came, played for him, all the artists, sports. Um, he did all the things, and I think he single-handedly is helping to further increase the interest in people to travel to the
Yeah.
continent to explore. So imagine what he's about to do for the Caribbean.
Yeah. I think so. It's important because Africa has been, as I said, was so mystified before, or was seen as such a negative area to be in. But I think a lot of more content creators are visiting, and they're seeing that it's much more of a continent than what the standard Western view is given, the standard, quote unquote CNN, BBC type view, which is great. This is great. I actually plan to go something next year, hopefully. You've been already? You've been?
I've been to Senegal. I was in
Okay.
Senegal for like a month. Um, but that's a French speaking, mostly Muslim country. The best food ever.
Okay.
Okay. They have the best chebchin. I mean, not the best, what they call it. The rice. They
Right.
have the jollof.
Jollof rice. Yeah.
When it comes to the jollof wars, I feel like Senegal got them.
Okay.
Where are you gonna go?
Um, Probably Ghana. Probably Ghana
Mm,
on the West Coast. I think that is in terms of travel from Barbados. I think that right now is probably, and you're looking to have some direct flights. Hopefully, is in the works from here to Ghana. So we'll see how that plays out. But that is most likely. But I would like to explore the full continent, uh, as northern as Egypt, which is, and that was my initial. I have a fascination of pyramids. I've visited pyramids in South America and different areas, but haven't gotten to Egypt as yet.
yeah. I would like you to talk a little bit more about what you expect to happen in Ghana because the vision, the overall vision of the Sankofa Wellness Project is to retrace the path of the
Yeah.
transatlantic slave trade and to visit these places, these ancestral places where our ancestors throughout the African diaspora were taken to, or those places that we touched down, and to explore the cultural similarities and the overlaps in these places.
Yeah.
And not just that, but to do it from a place of joy and celebration of just how brilliant, people of the African diaspora are, and the imprint that we've left throughout the planet.
Yes.
Um, and so what are you planning on doing in Ghana? Because we're going to Ghana, so we
Yeah.
would love go make some contacts and find some
Yeah.
information and bring it
Well,
back.
coincidentally, we talk about retracing the steps. As we speak, presently there's a Caribbean festival on in Ghana. As we speak, the first one.
I
We've
saw
got, yeah,
the Juve.
I've seen the Juve, been seeing the footage. So that is obviously that will be. I think that will be the initial step. But obviously, more will happen in terms of festivals. But I want to explore. Obviously, there types of masquerade festivals that do occur in Ghana. They have several throughout the year. So having an understanding. I've spoken to many persons that live in Ghana, Ghana feedback in terms of their festivals. But I definitely would like to see, have a comparison firsthand of how they're going to compare to what we're doing here as well. The whole celebratory aspect of it. Yeah, so
Do you feel like I follow a couple of influencers who travel all around the world for Carnival. And so I wonder if there's a blending that's happening in these places where the authentic, fingerprint, the authentic imprint of one culture is sort of getting blurred because people are bringing their ways and traditions. Like, for example, last night I was seeing a lot of Juve meets Jab Jab
mhm.
in Ghana. So,
Yeah.
do you, from what you know, is Juve and Jab Jab something that happens traditionally in Ghana, or is that what people are bringing now?
Well, there's a similar type festival in West Africa where they painted the bodies extremely black. So there are elements that that's traveled from West Africa to the Caribbean. So there are lots of similarities. But as culture travels, even from the Caribbean to the diaspora, North American diaspora, you can see the changes in terms of the different elements because of the restrictions. Obviously, governmental restrictions are not the same within different areas. So that's the nature of culture, and I think that's the beauty of culture. It's a culture will always find a way to change and adapt to situations. So yes, from my aspirations with carnivals and festivals in West Africa, you can see the similarities in costume making. Let's say, for instance, the idea of in Barbados what we call stiltmen, in Trinidad moko jumbies, walking high in the air on sticks. That is a West African tradition.
Yeah.
You see all across West Africa. It's also East Africa. You've seen, and it goes by different names, but they're obviously they're originated as protectors of the different tribes, of the different countries. So being tall in the area, that is representative of that, and that's one area you can see that has traveled from West Africa to the Caribbean. and it goes as by a variety of names throughout the region and throughout West Africa. And you will see, obviously, you will see it in diaspora as well.
Yeah. See, and that's what we want to see, right? We want to see that with our own eyes. I love that you're going to travel to Ghana so that you can see with your own eyes the similarities to the traditions that you have been living and experiencing all your life. That's exciting, especially because your band is Adinkra, the band.
Yes, which the name is West African in area. It's a can try. That's it, pretty much in the same area of Ghana. Obviously, Ghana, those lines of borders were created by the colonists, but it's based in that West African area. As I said, when you hear Adinkra, it's always mentioned in lieu of, in relation to, sorry, symbolism, West African symbolism of positivity. So you give aphorisms, the different stories of positiveness, always of a positive, uplifting nature. The hundreds of symbols which represent such.
And Sankofa is one of
And
them, right?
Kofa is one.
Right. So speaking of the connection between Sankofa and Adinkra, so we are counting down, right,
Yes.
to the time that we will be in Barbados jumping with Adinkra the band. You still have to help me with the language, right? Whether it's jump or play mass. Okay, are we jumping for Juve? Are we playing mass for Grand Kaduma? Is it interchangeable? Help
It's
me out.
it's actually both, uh, and interchangeable. Well, jumping is more synonymous in Barbados. When you across the Caribbean region, you have play mass. In Trinidad, it's more play mass. Grenada, Saint Lucia, but in Barbados, we tend to say jump in a band. But the term play mass is still familiar. So if you say you're playing mass, it is almost a generalized term. But in Barbados, we jump in a band across the other region, across the region is usually play mass. But it's all the same thing. The result is the same thing. Yeah. And you say
And so
Juve there, so Juve element, for those who are familiar, Juve is almost called dirty mass, where you jump in a band or play a mass and you paint and powder. Drinks are always involved. That's both pretty and dirty mass, but dirty mass is more paint and powder, mud. In Grenada would be the oil. So it's a whole concoction of different colors and going on at the same time. With pretty mass now, when you talk about contemporary pretty mass, when you follow contemporary pretty mass, that's more you see lots of gem work, feathers and bees, massive, you know, uh, wants a lot of color again, but more in the legs of feathers and bees, which is one part of it. There's still traditional mass, which is not as big in Barbados right now, but in Trinidad, it still have elements of traditional mass where you have, yeah, costumes that are less extravagant, well, for want of a better term, and more adhere to the more traditional forms of mass. It's just something I do myself here. For we do for Juve, I do obviously the Identity Band where we do the Juve. In Barbados we call 4 day with the pretty colors with the paint and powder. Kaduma Day now I go on the road pretty much. I build me, my girlfriend, girlfriend, we build our own costumes. Um, more in line with what happens traditionally with mass in the Caribbean, where you create your own costume and you go on the streets and you just celebrate and taking all the activities.
yeah, and that's one of the things as I'm going down this journey and I'm exploring what is Carnival, what is playing mass, what is, is it the piece that's more grounded and cultural and traditional where you are building your own costume and you're representing certain figures from the past, or is the emphasis on glamour and glitz and pearls and feathers and the perfectly shaped body, and the perfect camera angles and camera shots. And I'm the place that I'm at in my journey is I want to know about both.
Yeah, but it is. It is
Because
all
and the reason I say that is because both of them are liberating. You know,
yes.
there is a lesson, especially for us Westerners. I'm calling myself a Westerner. You know, in the States, who may have been raised in traditions that may have told us to be more modest, cover your body. You have to ask for permission to be loud and to dance. Both traditions, for me, of this traditional mask and this versus this bead and feather mask, they're both liberating. So I want to explore both of them. So talk to me about that.
Well, they're all masks. You know, as I often say, there's no end or beginning to what mask is. You create your own mask, or you
Mhm.
can join something that is already established. I like to look at masquerade in, let's say, four pillars. The first one being cultural heritage,
Yeah.
where
Oh,
where you
let me
have
get my notes. Let me get my journal. My Barbados Take Up a Wellness Project. Number one, heritage.
yes, cultural heritage. That's one. That's one pillar. Within that, you look at the ancestral traditions, what happened in the past, historical memories. So you assess mass from that perspective. That's the first one I would look at. Then I look at mass performance practice, where you would assess the embodied expression, how you go about playing the mass, how it's done in the streets. We look at the rituals that are involved with mass, how these rituals are then repeated throughout the years.
Mm.
Okay? Then you have the third pillar, where you look at mass in terms of commodification. This is the reality of it.
Mm.
Commodification, yeah, as an economic commodity, where there is the commercialization of masquerade. Okay, where masquerade is seen as a marketable product, and of course tourism, because tourism plays a major part in how the Caribbean masquerade is developed in the Caribbean. The reality is the countries in the Caribbean, for the most part, are highly dependent on tourism as the number
Mm.
one revenue earner, and any entity or any aspect that can contribute to that, you will see governments will focus heavily on commodifying.
Mm.
And masquerade is just one of the elements. It's the reality of the situation. Uh, Fourthly, in terms of a digital spectacle, mass is mass is obviously growing online. So when you look at
Yeah.
digital spectacle, you have to assess social media. How is social media playing a part in the growth of mass? Okay, so using those four different areas, you can cover everything,
Yeah.
and they're competing. They are working in unison in stages, but they're also competing at the same time, which is the beauty of masquerade. You know, there's no really right or wrong. It's just different ways uh, that is constantly in competition and constantly in unison, which makes it a topsy turvy environment, I would say.
A topsy-turvy environment. I can imagine that. Because yeah, how these are the four pillars because you have audiences who are attracted, who are informed that this even exists because it exists in the digital space,
Yes,
right? And so it becomes this thing that is visually stimulating and appealing. So then you have a lot of performance for the camera,
correct.
for the eye. What's going to be the best cut when you slow mo and all
So,
that stuff, right? And then when governments know that, for example, the influencers who are seeing this and are traveling to go have those tourism type of experiences, then the government is like, oh, let's invest more in that so we can get more people to come here and spend their dollars and stimulate the economy,
yeah,
right? And then, but then you have the people who are like, this is our mass. We've been
yeah,
doing this for
yeah,
decades and decades, for
right.
generations and generations, and it means something. There's layers and layers and
There is
layers to this.
And yeah, so then you would have that constant back and forth. Should you really commodify culture? Is culture really commodifiable? Of course, I mean, of course it is. That's the nature of culture. It's, to me, it's the lived experience. It's ever evolving. So of course, being commodified is one aspect of it. But therefore, you have persons that say, no, culture never. This is not we started. We didn't start being mass very commodified. But in reality, we live in a world. If there's something that can be made money from, there will be someone who will come along and say, you know what, this here can generate money, so
Yeah.
let's try it. And they have no interest in where it started, how it started, why it started. They are interested in the fact that in this time, space and time, we can monetize this particular event, cultural entity, which is
Yeah.
fine. And that's the nature of it. I think people say it's being wrong. I just see it as what it is. That's the nature of life.
Yeah. And I find that, so that's one of the things I think that I love this conversation. Y'all, literally, I have my notebook, I'm taking notes. So as much as we're sharing this conversation with you all, this is a master teaching about the four pillars of masquerading or mask, from Ryan for us all. So thank you for sharing that information with us. I'm mindful about the purpose of the Sankofa Wellness Project.
Right.
And I know that I've talked to you before. We've talked. I love our conversations. Um, and the more time that goes by, this conversation is evolving in myself. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to bring people along to experience this journey? And this year, I've really focused on joy and liberation.
Okay.
Joy and liberation, because that's what when I really condense it down, when I really look back and I think of what I experienced during Juve,
Mhm.
right? Dancing, I don't think we started dancing till about 1:30 in the morning.
Yep.
We got
One.
there like 11, but it was the whole vibe. It was the whole connection. It was the whole preparation of being out at night, being open, outdoors, connecting with people, getting excited. It was the buzz,
Yeah, it was.
And then and then connecting. I mean, I met so many sisters in the bathroom because we were sharing, I was like, oh, that's how you wearing your shirt.
Yeah.
And what I called, I sent Ryan a message before we jumped for Juve. I said, Ryan, in my bag, thank you for my bag. I see
Mhm.
my shirt. I see my cup, right? I see my wristband and I see some underwear, but I don't see my shorts. I'm looking for my shorts. I think you
Here.
may have left them out of the bag.
Oh, the under is the shortest. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Juve, or what we call 4 day here. You come. No one's watching if you're wearing a shorts. It's just you come and you enjoy yourself, because at the end of the day you're gonna be covered in paint and powder, and you be drinking, and so the focus is not on how you look. Like, oh, how you look. All the pictures, because and obviously you have a camera crew working, because I say the nature of dealing with paint and powder. People keep phones, tend to keep their phones in your pocket, so you don't focus on taking pictures. The pictures are posted after me, but it so not having your phone out all the time and trying to view it every moment, I think, adds to the actual experience. So you're just there in the moment and just enjoying it as it goes.
It's
It's like,
talk about having an experience that brings you into the present moment, right?
yes,
Because in the beginning, if you look at some of my footage, I got my phone out and then I'm like, oh, you can see me stuffing it away because here comes the paint.
yeah,
Here comes the powder, right? And
yeah,
then there's this whole gap of time where there's no footage because
yeah.
just be present.
You just stay. I think that's what it allows you to do. When you're playing mass or jumping,
Hmm.
it allows you to just stay in the moment. Um, I think when I started the band, I always felt that we all have things in life going on.
Yeah.
I even for because we start at 11 o'clock, finish at 7, so like a 9 hour period. Say if I can create a band, we have for 9 hours. At least for those 9 hours, you can just be in that moment. Forget the mortgage and the bills, the credit card, that, and if for that 9 hours, you can just have that time just to release and relax. At least for 9 hours, you can still I had a blast. And I always figured I saw a saying once, which he said one of the most powerful things you can ever do in life is to create a positive memory for someone.
Mm.
And has been able to do that. Like I said, people see me and say, right, oh gosh, that band was so good, I had a great time. We had this fun, and then you were, recapping the stories. Yeah, I think something we don't understand the kind of power we have as individuals. Through projects like yours, Sanko for Wellness Project, the band, what a positive effect these things can have on individuals beyond the moment. Being in the present moment obviously important, but it does help beyond the moment as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I still am amazed. I mean, sometimes like I'll get chills. I'll just be so um enamored by watching footage of some of the folks who came to the Food and Rum Festival with us last year. We had a group of 13 people. Actually, 12 of us all went together, and then I'm sorry, 11 all went together, and two met us there in Barbados. And I mean, it was beautiful to see their joy, to see them, jump off the catamaran. I mean, one friend in particular, she was like, I don't really do like water like that. Like, I don't do the ocean. Like, I don't really swim.
Hmm.
But she was like, but I'm in Barbados. And so she just jumped in the water and she started backstroking like she was like, and I have one of my best friends is a photographer, and so she was there, a professional photographer, and she took this photo of three women in the middle of the ocean, and they're like embracing each other, and they have their fist up. You can't see it, but they have their fist up, and they're like, yes, yes, we're here. There's no phones in the ocean. Like you're going to be present, and you're going to be feeling all those sensations and taking in all that beauty. Um, and when I look back at those moments, even the moments with the horses,
Hmm.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. Just watching them, just footage of them just walking away, holding the horse,
Right.
or guiding the horse. So absolutely, it is a gift to be able to give people these experiences, to facilitate these experiences. I know that Barbados has been therapeutic for me. That's why I keep coming back. And the more that the more that happens in the world, right? Politics, the
Yeah.
economy, the global story that we're all being affected by. And I just want to say I didn't vote for him, by the way. Um, but I know we have a greater responsibility than to just say we didn't vote for him, right? So the weight of what we see happening, the story that we see happening and evolving every day, there's a weight to that. And at the same time, we have the power and the ability to create a different story,
Just
to
a release valve, at least for a period of time. Yeah.
and to
Great.
focus on a different story, right? To focus because it's stressful, it's enraging, it's all of these adjectives, and it is that if you focus on it. But when we're all together, you know how powerful we are when we're out in the street and we're dancing and we're feeling joy. And this is one of the things I am still working through. I love this epiphany I'm about to share with you and that I get to share with everybody because I'm still working through this. Towards the beginning of the year, I was feeling extremely guilty um, about, promoting my trips to Barbados. Like it was a whole ice surge. You know what I mean? Like there were like federal agents like busting people's doors down and like kidnapping and abducting people with no warrants and no, needing to identify. Like we were watching this every day. As the world was watching it, we were watching it like and then seeing them pop up in different cities in the States. And at the time that that was happening, I was struggling with the idea of wanting to be like, we should go to Barbados, right? And at the same time, it was Carnival and Mardi Gras. So I was flipping from ice in Minnesota, Mardi Gras in New Orleans, people out in the street. Mm, mm, They singing, they dancing, they telling their story. Like we're still here, right?
Yeah.
The Black masking Indians, they're out there, they're doing their rituals, right? And they're telling the story, they're embodying the story of when their ancestors were enslaved and had escaped the plantation and went and connected with the indigenous folks and were able to blend in and find shelter with the indigenous folks. And so now today they retell that by being the Black masking Indians. And for generations and generations, they out there. They singing, dancing. We out in the street,
Yep.
right? Brazil. Okay, so then Carnival's going on throughout the Caribbean and Brazil. So we're watching Carnival and Mardi Gras and Minnesota. And the Holy Spirit showed me there's an overlap, Rufiena, because one of the many reasons the people in Minnesota were able to resist fascism and resist that oppression is that they stayed out in the streets together.
Yeah.
When the powerful, violent, oppressive forces were like, go in, we will harm you, we will murder, we will kill, we will da 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 da. The people were like, and we're still in the streets. And what did they do? They sang to keep them strong and together. And then the musicians came. The musicians start playing the brass, right? So they're dancing. Yeah, we know you killed somebody yesterday, and we still here. We dancing and we chanting. And so I saw that overlap in Minnesota, in New Orleans, in Brazil, in all throughout the Caribbean. And I was like, oh my God, Carnival! It's
Yeah.
bigger. It's bigger than twerking.
It is, and that's the premise, and that's what Carnival Crop Over. The streets belong to the people. The streets belong to the masses, and that is even if it was only for that short period of time. You shut Crop Over was the end of the sugar season, the sugar cane season, and these slaves by the time you got a chance to go in the streets and celebrate. Uh, Same thing with Carnival. Carnival is a renewal coming into the end of start of Lent, so you have those 2 days to just on the streets, and that's a major part of the carnival. Being able to carnival masquerade crop over, how you want to put it, is owning the streets. Being having the freedom to do something that 363 days a year you can never do. So you have 2 days that you control the streets, which is important. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be comfortable in our bodies, right? And to be bold, courageous, audacious, to not be moved, but to actually be filled with joy and to encourage other people to come out as well, right? Because there's no mass, there's no carnival, there's no crop over without the community.
It is a community-based activity, and the idea is to get as much of the community involved. So that goes back to our when we spoke about the 4 pillars. Uh, that's why there's an argument that why are we trying to seem to only target tourists or target tourism, or we heavily leaning towards tourism, when in reality, for a festival to be sustainable, I mean, I had meetings, I had countless discussion on this. For a festival, carnivals to be sustainable, you have to look inwards. You have to look to your local population to keep it going, because the day that planes aren't coming to the Caribbean, and what do? You know, we don't control the airlift from Europe. We don't control the airlift from the U.S. So you know, yes, we welcome obviously person from the diaspora and across the globe to come and celebrate and take in the Caribbean culture. But we also must be mindful that for this culture to be sustained, you still have to look inward rather than outward. Outward is the cherry on top, the addition to it.
But it starts with the people. It is authentic native culture, right? I just
Yeah.
saw my teacher popped into the call, my Afro-Cuban teacher, Kathy Hernandez. So if you hear, hey Kathy,
Okay.
who has been one of my main teachers and mentors, who has taught me about the power of standing in your body, of embodying the power, right, of that joy, of that energy, and of attracting all that energy to you, how you can completely change the energy in a room or an environment or your entire life just by moving your body, just by singing, you know. And so to know that, so I just want to give a shout out to Katia Hernandez. And to know that what you just said about it turning internally is important, because I've noticed that for this particular crop over season in Barbados, the National Cultural Foundation in their announcements have said that you all are returning, like reintroducing some of the fetes or the festivals that may have not been continued for a couple of years, but they're being reintroduced. For example, one is called Kohabopot.
Cobblepot. Well, in its original form, Cobblepot was held on the Sunday night prior to the final Monday. Kaduma Day is on the Monday. Cobblepot would have occurred on the Sunday night. You would have featured at Cobblepot. You have all of the top performers of the season. What we call the pick of the crop winner, the party monarch winners, and you would have the king and the queen of the bands, which no longer happens. Now, the king of the queens, the bands, each band at the time would have what we call what is equivalent to it now, a section leader type, what we call section leaders now.
Okay.
Uh, you'll have, but these costumes would be massive costumes. If you in Trinidad, you see in Trinidad to have it. You see costumes 20, 25 feet in the air and 25 feet wide. They're massive costumes.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Depicting certain elements, whatever element or theme the band is portraying. So you have a male and a female. Um, but it was really, to build them up, it's really expensive. And so it's a one use type costume. So you know, if you use it, that's pretty much it. So they usually spend over $20,000, $25,000 on a costume. It's quite a bit for band leaders. So as the years went on, then that started to drift to the side somewhat, and then maybe I want to say maybe 10 years ago, then they discontinued the cover ball altogether. Uh,
Mm,
this year is the first year they brought it back. Minus the King and Queens bonds. I haven't seen any mention of the King and Queens bonds, but they're trying to rehash the cover ball. In addition to the cover ball, we're having what's called Party Monarch competition that was also took hiatus for the last, I wouldn't say just after COVID, so like after 2020, yeah, 2019 would have been the last one.
okay.
Um,
Before COVID.
yeah, just before COVID, so they're bringing that back as well. So there's two elements they're looking to rehash for uh, or re-enter the
Yeah.
crop
I
festival.
love that. I love hearing that, because I've been following the story as my own understanding of playing mass, and my overall understanding of Carnival, and my attraction to Carnival has been evolving, I've been watching the conversations that are shared publicly from people in the Caribbean who want to maintain the authentic cultural heritage focus, or at least do your best, right? So that you don't lose hold of your carnival. It doesn't become something else that is not representative of your cultural heritage. And I think that's important for those of us in the diaspora, because we want to leave the Western world. We need a break. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that we're like, this ain't it, right? And the Caribbean, the continent, like, you know, indigenous cultures, like these older cultures have these lessons for us, right? About humanity, about creativity, right? That's not under certain gazes. You know, like, I live in LA, everything's Hollywood, right? Even sometimes you go to the farm, it's fabricated, you know, like everything. The fruits and vegetables are this big and have no whatever, right? So we it's important for us to go and be able to see authenticity. You need to put me on hold.
Yeah, and just shift locations a second.
Okay. No, and
Yeah.
actually I need to take my son, to
Oh,
football
oh,
practice. So what I think this is good. I feel like we've talked for 30 minutes. You've given gems. You've given gems. So I have a small group of people right now who have made their deposits or paid in full. I actually have several people who've paid in full for
okay.
the summer. So I'm just gonna start sending you payments for I'm sorry, for
For
4 day
Juve.
morning,
Yes.
right? For Juve. So we got that part. So the
Okay.
next part is gonna be Grand Kadooment,
Okay.
right?
Cool.
So if you still have time to kind of talk about that, or if you want to go off the camera, we
That's
could
fine.
talk about that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that you guys know, right? And remember I said that the crop over trip, for me, the theme, honestly, the theme of my trips to Barbados right now are joy and liberation, all three of the trips. But
Yeah.
really the focus of the crop over trip, it's really for dancers. It's really for people who want to move their bodies, you
Okay.
know, whether you're in the gym all the time, or whether you're a professional dancer, or you just love going to workout classes. Like, if you find your refuge and you find that you are at your highest self when you are taking care of your physical form through movement, and you want to do that within community, those are the people who I think are going to benefit the most from this trip, because we dancing every day.
Yeah.
When the day we land, we
Yeah.
are going to Spinny's class.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, y'all gonna be partying and dancing there. That. There's no crop over festival dancing. That they just go hand in hand. That's what it is. Having your drinks and dancing. They must go hand in hand.
So hand in hand, so two drinks. So the phone in
Yes.
one hand and your drink in the other hand. So we're doing Spinny's class when we land on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be on a catamaran. We're going to dance on the catamaran. Friday, I don't know if people want to go to Oysters, they can go to Oysters, but Friday is when we're coming, and we're going to be there for Juve from Friday night to Saturday morning. I'd say we're going to go to the Emancipation Day Festival. I don't know if I'm going to
I
still
don't
be
know if you can
awake.
recover for that because you're gonna finish like 7 in the morning. That festival starts around that time. I don't think. I mean, on your back to the hotel, maybe you will pass through and see some of it, and that I just get a glimpse of it on your back to the hotel. So
Okay.
yeah, and then
Okay.
you have Saturday night to do whatever, and then Sunday again. I assume you have some breakfast. Usually Sunday's breakfast parties, or you have something planned for Sunday.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's one of the things for Sun. I was talking to Cheryl last night, because before, I want people to understand why rum, you know. So I feel like it is important to offer a trip to one of the distilleries, specifically the one that's there in Bridgetown. I think
right. So
is that
yeah,
States?
States, yes. You may have to do it Friday. That may have to be done then the Friday because the weekend is gonna be closed. and you have plans for Thursday. You're running on Wednesday. You have the class on Wednesday. You're going on the cruise on Thursday,
Catamaran.
right?
Yeah.
Friday, it looks like maybe Friday, maybe the Friday morning, maybe the only time you guys will have to do the stays room tour. So I would suggest
Okay.
if you're gonna do it, you can book it for the Friday morning, and
Okay.
yeah, then it gives you bouncy day. You want to go to the beach, and cause it's close, it's on to the beach, so you can actually do that. And then so have a day hang out on the beach, relaxing, and then you go back to your hotel, grab something to eat, and then you come and join us tonight at 11 o'clock. Yeah, so that
Right,
might
right.
be a Friday.
Okay, thank you for that tip. Okay, so we can't do stays on Sunday. We should do it on Friday. So then Sunday, we'll leave that open to see what,
Yeah,
we want to be open to see what we want to add to that. And then Monday is Grand Kadooment. This is the
right.
grand finale of the 2 month long crop over
Yes,
festival.
yeah.
So I've been talking to you about who is the best band to jump with. And so do you want to share with us what your thoughts are? We do, and
Uh,
then we
yeah,
gotta start booking that.
I think you can look at doing Monday Mass. They're well, they're linked to one of the most popular bands, Beige. What's called Beige. The band was named Beige before, but I think it's a rebranding that they're doing right now. Uh, and I think they've also collaborating with some other performers over the region like Bungie Garlin and Fiona Lyons, who are very popular soca artists in Trinidad. So they're doing a collaboration with them. Um, One of the owners is a friend. He used to parties. He go to all these events back in the day. So he's a part owner in the band, and they actually using the same caterer. With the caterer for the band is coincidentally the same caterer for the Kaduma band, who's very professional, and he's actually one of the island's top chefs. And he said, yeah, so you can have a real treat for breakfast too. With both bands, you definitely have a real treat for breakfast and lunch. It should be good. Um,
Awesome.
all right, so you have the link. You see the costumes.
Yep.
Uh, as I said, because of the connection, they're us uh, offering us for every 10 persons we enter, they'll offer a free costume, and we try to get a
Okay.
reduced price. We try to get a reduced price as well. So
Okay.
once you know certain, like, yeah, definitely I have 7 persons that want to do it, or 8 persons. I would check on my end who wants to do it. Then I can get. He said because you will have to go and register, through the regular channels. Once have the names and what they want, we'll do it through directly through the owner, through the back end of it. All right.
I'll
So
start sending you that information probably tomorrow because I have a small group right now.
okay.
I have room for more people. So if more people want to join the Barbados trip, we're like 90 days out. So people
Yeah.
have like 60 days to make their decision and to sign up. We want a good group of 10 to 12 people in our group. So I am going to have like a Zoom presentation and tell people a little bit more about the trip. But that's one of the reasons I thought it would be great to go live with you so they could meet you, learn about playing mass, learn about Juve, and just get the vibe of the island so that they can understand why this is a trip that they want to go on. But I'll start sending you information tomorrow. And then as more people sign up over the next month or so, then I'll update that.
That's
But
cool.
let's get
Yeah,
started.
once you can send me their sizes, I would start getting the packages together because we have
Okay.
everything. Everything is pretty much ready. We bought everything, so it's just a matter of just getting the sizes and just putting persons in terms of the sizes they're using, and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Okay, we got a plan. My sons are back here. All right, let me go ahead and go. This is great. Uh-oh. Great conversation. I recorded this, so I'm gonna download. What's up, Tani? Oh, girl. We about to log off. Tani's one of the people who's going to Barbados with
Okay,
us.
great. Good to see you.
Um,
Good to meet you. Can't
Tani,
wait.
this is Ryan right here. So he's the person who is organizing our Juve,
Yeah.
the paint and powder party that we're gonna do on the 31st. We'll start on the night of the 31st into the
First and
morning of the
morning.
1st.
Yeah.
And then also for Grand Kadooment, that's gonna happen on Monday, August 3rd, I think it is.
Yeah. The 3rd of August.
Um, No,
Yeah.
don't worry, girl. There's a whole nother time. There's a whole nother opportunity to jump. We're gonna do 2 jumps. We're gonna play mass twice.
Yes, you got to do
We're gonna
dirty math and pretty math.
oh, we're doing dirty math and
And
we're
pretty.
doing pretty math. I like that, Ryan.
Yeah.
I gotta say that more often. So, Tani, you'll join us for pretty mass with the feathers and the beads and all the things. So I was just telling Ryan that we're ready. We have a group that's ready to go. So I'll be reaching out to you to get your sizes and to get your choices for costumes and all the things. And then we'll start putting in our orders. And so, yeah, we're like about 90 days out from
Just
our
about.
trip,
Yeah, just about.
right?
Just about. Yeah.
So let's go, y'all. We got more space. We got more space available on the trip. If you know that this Barbados trip is for you, especially after you've heard Ryan talk about the 4 pillars of playing mass, then definitely DM me, comment below, and then Tani, you're going to be the next person that I interview. So, Ryan, do you want to say anything to kind of wrap this up and, any last words you want to share with
Yeah,
people?
yeah, for certain. This coming to Barbados and experiencing the festival is a once in a lifetime experience. I've had friends from the US and they came over and they could not believe the level of freedom you can experience in because soca party or in a juve band or on the road. The whole idea of just meeting a random person and dancing, and and there's no stress about it. But yeah, it is a blast. It's something I would say you should experience, even if it's only once. So hopefully we'll see you guys for 2026. That's for
And if
certain.
when you experience it, come experience it with the Sankofa Wellness Project
That's for
because you
certain.
may have many other choices of people that you can travel to Barbados with. But I got the plug. I'm the plug, okay? I'm the honorary
There you
Bayesian.
go.
I am the cultural bridge that's going to connect you to the authentic Bajan experience. That's what I'm here to do.
Which is important.
That's right. Thank you, Ryan. Good talking
No
to you.
problem.
See, they have left the house. I got
Thanks,
to
you.
run out and chase them.
All right, cool. Have a good one. Later.
You too.
Bye.
Blessings. I'll talk to you later, Tani.
All right.